The notion of precarity was introduced with all this kind of post-Marxist idea coming like to post-Soviet spaces in Eastern Europe, starting in the 90s, and then the discussion on precarity, it was something which came actually a few years ago in Belarus. So as far as I'm from this country, which is I consider to be quite unique even in the terms of Eastern Europe and post-socialism, mostly because of the way how it developed since 90s, and so it's kind of strange mutated version of capitalism covered with a leftist quasi-leftist rhetorics on welfare state and etc. So what is interesting is that kind of using this quite similar rhetorics as in Soviet Union, the new law concerning the labor relations was introduced recently, and this law is called in English something like on prevention of social dependency, means that every citizen obliged to work. Otherwise you need to pay a special tax, or which is around 120 euro, which is pretty a lot for the kind of normal level of salaries in Belarus. At the same time, the situation is much more complex for cultural workers, as far as you can't receive any state funds, and you can't, and all the foreign funding is also being criminalized, so it's kind of illegal to have that. At this point, the notion of precarity popped up in my personal practice, because you are kind of based on this project-based activities, and then means that you are not really have a normal working conditions. So at the same time, I would consider this term of precarity and even and precariat is quite problematic in this sense. Concerning on today's discussion, I like the idea of not really speaking about precariat as a kind of new class formation, but more like on the tendency of precarization of labor relations, which is of course true, and then like more speaking more generally in the West and also East framework, when like all the social infrastructure being erased. So, but at the same time, when like there is kind of this new discussion on kind of defining this precariat as a new class, is something what I'm quite suspicious to. As far as I would consider like working relations in the East were like precarious for all the time, and then quite a big theoretical discussion required in this sense, really to define what is all about. Like what kind of work could be considered as precarious and what could be not. What kind of material and as well as immaterial and cognitive competencies are required in this kind of work. So I would say that this question is quite complex, but the kind of the increasing level of discussions on precarious struggles is really important, and for this time, I would say that in Belarus, like all the struggles are really spontaneous and not really taking the common ground and common discussion for that, but probably somehow they will be activated. I hope so.